Hey friends, Dana here. This video is a quick video to welcome you to the group that is about returning back to our cyclic natures by applying our recognition and acknowledgement of the impact of the moon on our systems. I've been doing this moon work for quite some time, probably for about 8 years solidly. And it's rewarded me so much in so many ways, and I would say that the results often are unexpected in so much as your view of the world that you have before you regularly step into a cyclic practice that's delineated by time, the passage of time. It shows you things that only the experience can show you. You know, I can talk about it forever, but you know, we are about intuitive practices here, returning back to sacred feminine voicing and acknowledgement. And a good proportion of that is what people often use the term embodied. And embodiment is really about showing up to what's emergent, showing up to what populates the space that's been set for a particular purpose. And what that looks like is that we may offer a guided meditation, Spirit and me may offer you a guided meditation, and every time you do the meditation you explore something else about you. The experience of that is different every time, even if you're repeating the same meditation. And so with these practices it's kind of the same. You know, when you start working with ritualistic practice that takes you across, as I said, a passage of time, a regular practice of time, like the moon cycle has the capacity to, then you start to notice how your intrinsic voice communicates and you get better at it. And you start to get a clear picture in your head and an awareness of your own landscape so that you can anchor more fully into your own independent voice. And as we often say, if you aren't yet fully voicing yourself independently from the system, from collective narrative, you're actually depriving the collective from your true value, and you're going to experience a sense that you don't belong, that your contribution isn't being seen, heard, held, or valued. And so this is hopefully one of the practices that might act as a counterbalance to that sensation, if that's you. So what we're offering in this group is essentially a burning ritual. I'll show you how to do a burning ritual and when is the best time to do a burning ritual in reference to the moon cycles. There'll be the times and dates of the moon cycles and what signs, astrological signs, they seem to be moving through. We're going to post that every moon cycle. We're also going to do the energy update that I've been doing for years. We're going to do a variation of that and put that in this particular group. We'll also give you information around different ritual practices to do in the full moon period versus the new moon period versus the dark moon period. And all three energetically, they do things kinetically to your system that impacts the wave of the frequency that you're riding. And when you don't set aside some time to listen to what your system is doing over successive moon cycles, you'll never get how it truly impacts you. And commonly a lot of people, particularly if they're energy sensitive, they're impacted by the full moon energy and they feel it pulling them out of sorts and having a couple of crazy days without realizing that by ignoring the fact that there is an opportunity there to do a practice that helps you ground and anchor your own voice and find out a little bit more about what your own dialogue is, failure to do that during that period of time will continue to bring you into this crazy state. And instead, that energy can be used to springboard you into something better if you know how to do a practice and if you are dedicated to practice. The other thing that this group will do is it'll also hold you accountable to a practice. And so many people are like, oh, you know, like you're asking for a monthly fee for a particular thing. It's like, well, the benefit is that by paying the monthly fee, you get an email sent to you with the practices already lined up that will inspire you hopefully to dedicate time or set aside time to do that practice. And it may help you to anchor that practice in a way that maybe you're not able to manage that on your own. So we're cultivating essentially also a sense of sacred ritual. And I've mentioned this in a lot of my other videos. When people talk about losing a sense of purpose or meaning of life, often what they've done is they've disconnected themselves from the sacred. They've disconnected themselves from understanding that meaning is something that is imbued. It's something that is discovered over a period of time in your experiencing. And as you start to fuel and feed a particular thing with a sacred practice, it amplifies in its intent and it amplifies in its impact. And so sacred practices are worthwhile doing because the consequence of doing them is an increased amount of meaning in your life and an awareness of what is meaningful and what isn't, so that you can better manage and marshal your own energetics, which I'm a big fan of. Another aspect of this practice will also be about, journaling and journeying in order to be able to discharge some of your energy, and just generally how to approach any practices. So fundamentally, I always say to people that if you only walk away with one or two things from any program that I run, there are foundational things that I hope that you notice consistently appear in all of the projects that should underpin any well-being practice that you do, because they're vital. And one of those is gratitude. One of those is the application of not a false sense of gratitude or a contrived sense of I should be grateful for these things because my ancestors, my parents, the school system told me I need to be grateful for these things. No, it's about cultivating an intrinsic sense of gratitude based on your experience, because it meets you, because it belongs to you, and because it speaks to your true heart. And so that's what this thing will do. We're also working in a collective field. So if you're signing up to this, the energy will belong to more than just you. So any practice that you do in reference to this, whether you're doing it at home in your bedroom alone or what have you, we're creating an amplified field by creating a collective container for all of you individuals to have your experience in. So this is why it does benefit you, and indeed it benefits everybody to be in these types of spaces, as long as it resonates with you. Just lastly, before I kind of wrap up this video, this welcome video, these are intuitive practices. And when I say intuitive practices, you can tell that maybe the tone of my voice changes when I say that. I'm a little bit more direct about that. That's because we live in an overly rationalized mind scape. We live in an overly educated system that basically does all the work for you so that you don't have to listen to the energy that's present inside of you in order to get answers. And we are heavily detached from this belief that you actually have most of the answers that you're seeking inside of your body and acting out through the relationships that you have in your field at any one time. And so when we work with psychic field practice and training the spidey senses, the clairs, a lot of that is about cultivating that awareness of what energy is in my bubble, what energy is in the dialogue of my space right now, because that is the universe. That is your universe. That is the Earth Mother speaking through you. That is the embodiment world. That is the sacred feminine risen. And so failure to listen to that part of you is a detachment from a quintessential part of you that is generally healthy and well and will keep you healthy and well. When we look at things like depression, it's because people are low in spirit. People are low in spirit. I'm going to say that again. People are low in spirit. Anxiety, trust. People are low in trust. When you do these practices and start the invocation process of truly connecting in, you'll find that you'll start to feel a sense of ease that goes beyond the learned and a little bit further into the ancient well of wisdom that our human selves have always had a connection to, but we've been deconditioned to devalue. So with that, welcome. I hope you stay. You can always choose to leave this group, okay? So just in terms of finances and what have you, just understand, take responsibility of your own choices. If you want to be here and paying the fee, I welcome you. You have access to this group. And if not, it's okay. Please make the choice for you. You get to, you're allowed to. It's important that you do. Okay. Much love from Dana, Spirit Butterfly. See you soon.